Roxo Media House.
Kedrian Johnson rejected by Peavy. Ball finds an open shot.
You are in the State of the Frogs with head coach Jamie Dixon. Brought to you by Railhead Smokehouse, Hub International, Dave's Hot Chicken, by Texas Health Resources, the Flying Tea Club, and by Cadillac. Now with the head coach, here is the voice of the Frogs, Brian Estridge.
Welcome into another edition of State of the Frogs here at the Courtside Club at the Showmeyer Arena. The head coach, Jamie Dixon, is alongside. We're going to talk a little TCU basketball. Of course, coming up tonight, got a big matchup against Kansas State. We'll talk about that. The number 12 Wildcats up next for TCU. And then Saturday, you got Baylor in town for this one. That's the 14th ranked Baylor Bears will be here. That is a 1 o'clock tip for that one. No, it's a 3 o'clock tip for that one on Saturday. I'm going to make sure I get it all right in my head here. Frogs come in at number 17 in the country. Last week, had a good win against West Virginia. That was a game, Coach, that it never felt, and I know you never felt like this, but for me, I felt like you were in control the whole time.
Yeah, it seemed that way, and we got it to 10 in the first half, 12 it might have been, and like you said, second half, same thing, and just, could have finished it better. Yeah. So we'd had more of a deficit, missed some free throws down the stretch, and they scored at the end, and so it's just one of those things. That's why the point spreads don't work real well in basketball, as we know, not as good as football. Thank goodness for that. It was just, I thought we did good things. Offensively, we were very good. We had 7 turnovers, along with 52% from the field against good defensive teams. So that's very efficient. Defensively, could have been better, and trying to get that message across to our guys that it was a good win against a good team, 25 net, I think they were at the time. And we controlled it, like you said, most of the game, but our defense just wasn't where it needed to be, and that kind of led up to the Oklahoma State game where our defense didn't get it done.
Yeah, West Virginia, by the way, getting votes to the top 25 this week. So another Big 12 team. Yeah, so it keeps adding up. Damian Ball, I thought, was really good in that ball game. You pointed out there were a couple of decisions you thought you'd love for him to take back, but I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, but he was really good. They were at the end of the game, and kind of part of why we didn't make it a 12-point, 14-point game. Then, but he throughout really good. I thought he was real patient, got in the lane, didn't over-penetrate, which is sometimes one of his biggest challenges. But it was really good all over the floor, defended well, distributed the ball well, and took good shots. Yeah. And he really got the offense going. Again, that's a very efficient game in Big 12 play. It's hard to go 52% and just 7 turnovers.
Yeah, and he was setting up a guy by the name of Xavier Cork, who had maybe his best game of the year against West.
Yeah, he did. He finished. He was around the rim. We got great energy out of him, both defensively. Our post defense was better in that game, and we had really worked on it that week in preparation. And then offensively, he was really good. But he did a really good job defensively, taking away the post touches, limiting them, and then it got our offense going, to be honest.
Give me some sense. You're calling on Shahada Wells now to play a lot more minutes with Mike out. This guy who's played a lot of basketball in his career. Yeah. I think he's responded well.
Oh, yeah. His numbers in the 5 games or 4 games since is averaging 15 points or so and shooting a high percentage and taking care of the basketball as he has done all year. We had a lot of confidence in him. A couple games early in the year didn't go well, and but he stuck with it, didn't complain, and waited for the opportunity, and is obviously flourishing in it. So we have a lot of confidence in him. He's going to be 30 minutes a game, and with Mike out, and he's comfortable doing it. But I think it'll make us better when Mike gets back because we have a good rotation there now. We're getting quality minutes in it every time.
And you don't always say this about a guy on the perimeter, but he plays taller than he is.
Well, he gets deflections and he rebounds. And one of the things that struggled with early was post defense on some of our switching situations or just some matchup issues that came. And he has improved in it. And we had some struggles early in the year in a couple games, and you have to go through it. And he's improved, and he's gotten more physical. But yeah, he gets deflections. He's always been one of our leading deflection guys in practice. And rebounding, he goes up there and gets it. He's a good athlete, and with long arms, and like you said, plays a little bigger than he is.
And a good finisher at the rim too.
Yeah, he is. He has always had that. and he finishes high. He's got a soft touch, and he's fearless too at the same time. So yeah, you've seen that, and can finish left hand and right hand.
Yeah. Before the Oklahoma State game, you and I were visiting in your office about some of the things that you said we've got to continue to be better rebounding. Got to get back to being an elite rebounding team.
Yeah.
You said you worked on that. Give me some sense as to what that work is.
Well, it's really, you only have so much time to practice.
Yeah,
I mean, it's, everybody gets in here. Well, you have really 2 practices a week with maybe an hour of practice,
right,
and maybe 30 minutes of it live is really what you can do. I mean, so there's not a lot. It's really a mentality. It's film. With the drills that we do, we're emphasizing the rebounding. Every guy was held accountable what they do. If they don't, we do it again. But you can only do that so long, and that's where we're at. So we didn't get it done last game. That's why we came up short, and we know it's not where it needs to be. We've continued to emphasize it, but we're going against the best teams in the country.
Yeah.
And this is the the SEC of football and basketball right here is what it is, and even at a higher level, because there are no bad teams.
Right.
There are none, and every game is a battle, and we've seen it, we know it, and we have to recognize it that we've got to be better in that area. And I think we carried we also carry the reputation of being a great rebounding team, and so teams are coming in trying to emphasize it against us. And be honest with you, our numbers aren't where they need to be.
Well, the reason I bring that up is some of those drills in practice are physical. I mean, you get after it a little bit.
Yeah, and we're down on bodies, so how much can you do?
Yeah.
And it's not a great simulation if you're not going to have all the guys that you need out there. Yeah. So yeah, there's we're working on it. The other thing is the other team's working on it too.
Right.
Again, like I said, no matter what our numbers are, we're known as the best rebounding team in the country. It probably comes from last year, which we were, and up there. And obviously, my past, my history has been we've been at tops in the country in rebounding, and especially on the offensive end. Our numbers are not where they need to be. There's some reasons. I think the continuity has been part of it, but we've got the leaking out at some because of our transition. But it's just pure physicality. We're not getting it done.
All right, Oklahoma State last Saturday, always a tough place to play, Gallagher-Iba Arena. They got up to the fast start. Your team, I thought, showed a lot of fight and character coming back.
Yeah, we did, and it was good. And we showed the 3-minute start and what we did. We did everything. I asked them first, what did we emphasize going into the game, and let's see what we did the first 3 minutes. And it was amazing to see how we did not do what we had emphasized, what we had practiced in those 2.5-day practices that we had. So, you got to do what you emphasize, or you're going to be in real trouble.
Yeah.
And if you can't get that done, then how are you going to be good? So we didn't do it early, didn't do it late for the most part, defensively and offensively. And so we came up short. We did fight. We are confident. We didn't give up. We fought through some adversity and put us in a position to have a 2-point lead with 4 minutes left. But they go 7 of 8 down the stretch, and your defense lets you down. And 6 of those were layups.
Yeah, and to get into that position, though, you went on a 20-3 run at one point.
Yeah.
But it was started by the defense, really.
Yeah, some deflections, some steals, and stops. I think we were 7 out of 8 stops, and that's what got it going. So the stops lead to more transition opportunities, and obviously we're the best in the country in that. So I talk about the rebounding, like our goal is to be the best in the country. Right. So there's 350. So this ain't football. 110. There's 363. This ain't I was just talking to our beach volleyball coach. This is 360. We're trying to be the best in the country here, and so that's what we're going against, and that's what we're trying to do. And we were number 1 in offensive rebounding efficiency last year. We're not there this year. I don't know the reason why, but we're working on it.
Yeah, give us some sense. We're going to talk about K-State a little bit later on in the show. Give us some sense about the health of your team right now. Are you getting closer? On a couple
it's their call. It's how they feel. It's there's no structural. That's the great thing about it. Issues there, so it's a pain, it's a comfort level, and it's their call. So the trainers, I just go out there practicing and getting our guys ready, and when they're ready to get on the floor, we'll put them out there. But it's their call, and they know that. But it was 2 pretty serious looking injuries, and we're lucky that they weren't worse. But it's their call when they're ready to go. So we're thankful for. That it wasn't worse.
All right, Kansas State tonight, and then Baylor on Saturday. We'll talk about that a little bit later on with the head coach, Jamie Dixon. And State of the Frogs continues with more after this time out.
This is Cowtown Headache Center. neurology clinic that specializes in headache medicine. We offer standard oral medications, we offer trigger point injections, we offer multiple nerve blocks, we offer infusions both for prevention medication and for acute relief. My name is Andrew Levere. I'm a physician assistant that has a special certification from the National Headache Foundation in headache medicine. Patients are pretty shocked when I tell them we have tons of options for them and that we can do better than what they're doing. I don't just tell you, here's one medicine we're going to try. I'll give them options, and then ultimately we choose together as a provider and patient. It's very satisfying to know that we're changing people's lives.
The Hub Fort Worth family is a passionate, energetic team of insurance professionals that have the same common goal in mind: helping businesses and individuals protect their health, property, and financial well-being. Their objective is to maximize the options available to businesses, families, and individuals while helping you make the choices that suit each unique situation and challenge. Their clients look to them for guidance in navigating the cumbersome world of insurance and investments. Their experience and personal relationships combined with their creativity enables them to craft solutions that fit your specific circumstances. Their guiding principle is, don't tell me how much you know, just show me how much you care. Since their founding in 1966, they've enhanced their offerings to include a comprehensive range of services, including employee benefits, property and casualty, and personal lines insurance. Follow them and learn more on their social media pages. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Hub Fort Worth.
State of the Frogs continues with the head coach, Jamie Dixon. We get to visit now with, we try to pull in a guy from the staff or one of the players, dive a little deeper into this program. Now we get to talk to the Hall of Famer, man. Corey Santee joins us right now. Good to see you, my man.
Good to see you, too. Glad to be here.
The player development coordinator.
Yep,
I like it, yes. And that, it's interesting because that encompasses a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just basketball, is it?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. So what I'm trying to do now is, we have a long, grueling season. Just keep everything even keeled. Because, when we have highs, we got to make sure we maintain that even keel when we have lows. So that's what my job is right now. And get guys in the gym through this long season, make sure they're getting their reps, getting their shots up.
Yeah, it's as much psychology as anything else. And you almost 100%. Have to be like a counselor and a guy that can kind of lean on. Come and say, hey, coach, I got this going on. I mean, that's really your role. 100%,
because, the guys want it so bad for themselves. But we just keep the same goal as mine. We all do. We come together as a team, we'll be just fine. And plus, as a player, you want the individual success. So sometimes when you don't think you're making shots or shooting it well, you get frustrated.
Right.
But if you're defending, you're rebounding, getting back, you're talking, them effort plays, we'll be just fine.
Do you find that the fact that you played here and was a really good player here, does that give you credibility with those guys, you think?
Oh, 100%. Plus, I walked the campus, I've been in their shoes, and me, I'm coming from Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
I couldn't just drive home and stuff.
That's right.
So I had to lock myself in the gym, watch a lot of my tapes, films. Even when I lost my confidence, watch my highlight tapes and stuff like that, and just fight through the times when it was rough, and just remember why I was here and why TCU believed in me. This will always be a special place for me.
Because thinking back then, I mean, we've gotten so much better at the mental aspect of the game. You probably didn't have a guy to go lean on like you, did you?
No, my mom and my dad, but nowadays social media, they could go to open up their phone and see when they're playing good, when they're playing bad, and see what people think of them.
Yeah.
So it's a different aspect nowadays. Nowadays, I just, back in the day, I called my mom. She'd tell me what I did good or bad.
Right.
But now everyone has an idea or an opinion on what you're doing. So we try to keep everything in-house and just stay away from that and just keep the focus.
And I remember your folks, they'd be honest with you, too.
They never told me a lie. Oh, they tell me. Even when I play good, they tell me what I did bad.
Exactly. Exactly. Corey, when you think about all the pressure on these guys today, and you talk about what happens as far as social media is concerned, but also you got the NIL portion. There's decisions to be made about the portal and their guys coming and going. It's pretty interesting that this roster was able to really stay intact. I feel like there's a sense of brotherhood there, a camaraderie that maybe a lot of places don't get right now.
Absolutely. What I try to tell them is to live in the moment, day by day, and just take advantage of what you're doing now. Because you can't predict in the future what's going on, as far as the NIL, there's so many pressures, because what these kids don't understand is now you have new family members, you have new friends that are trying to take a hold of you and stuff like that. Just focus on what we have here now, focus on what's in front of you, and focus on each other. Play hard for your brothers, and everything will take care of itself.
You were on some really good teams here at TC, but you were also on a couple of teams that struggled at times.
Right.
How important is the culture of an organization like basketball, or is it just about what happens on the floor?
Culture builds programs. You know, now, like you said, we got guys finishing up their degrees, trying to get even bigger. I'm talking him getting his master's and things like that. And when players see former players who really love the environment in the school here, they understand how important TCU basketball is and the university.
Right.
So that's important of building a program and moving forward, because you could talk to guys like myself who's been here, who've been through the trials and tribulations, who've been through the ups and downs, how they fought through it, and just pick our brains and stuff like that. So it's very important to have former
Do you
guys
get
come
to
back.
interact with the former players too in your role?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I encourage them to come back because they need to see these guys that always played here, that was a part of the program. They need to see them and understand, because you could talk to them from an aspect of outside of basketball, what they're doing now, the struggles that they had when they're trying to find landing spots, jobs overseas. It's just a life experience that we're trying to keep these kids.
In the summer, they like to play in the gym. They kind of play it on their own pickup. And some of those guys come back and play, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They try to come. Bingo try to play. Alex Robinson's been playing, Brandon Parrish and stuff like that. So
does Corey
JD
Santee
Miller
sneak out there?
Oh, no. I'm going to try to get back out there once I get the surgery on my knee. I'll be
another
ready
one?
to roll. Yeah, I got to
exactly.
do that. So I'll be ready.
All right, good deal. There's long term. What does Corey Santee want to do?
I want to continue, being a part of this program, if not trying to help build this program to be successful, and continue to coach, because I found out my passion is to just give back to these guys, not only with the basketball aspect, but the life aspect, because I understand how rough it is out here outside of sports.
Yeah, it is. It is not as easy as it is
for
a lot of folks. There's no question. I know you've always been a gym rat.
Oh,
man.
yeah, for sure.
You just love basketball. So you're able to find your passion, and it's basketball.
Of course.
I mean, that's like not having a job.
No, for sure. And then I see so much of myself in these young men, because I've been walking through here. They feeling good. They think they looking good and stuff like that.
Right.
But I just want to make sure they take care of the people around them, and then their classmates also, the people that's walking through this campus. Build relationship with these people, because you're gonna always come around, and that TCU family. To this day, I could be in California. I could be. It doesn't matter. When they see that Horned Frog, it goes miles.
It does. All right, update folks. When's the wedding?
It'll be July 15th.
July 15th. That's
Day
right.
by day, we getting ready to rock and roll.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited
too.
too.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And by the way, just in case, if you ever need to get out in the ice and snow, this is the guy you ride with. He's got it mastered, man.
It's
Those
a
days
breeze.
of playing.
I don't know why everybody be panicking when it be snowing, but I love it.
Corey's got it covered for you. Corey, thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you
Really
for having
appreciate
me.
it. Always the
Appreciate
best.
you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hall of Famer Corey Santee joining us. We've got more coming up on State of the Frogs, including the head coach Jamie Dixon back with us. We'll get to preview K-State tonight and Baylor on Saturday. We do that after we do this.
Sir.
Simply the best barbecue in Fort Worth. Dine in, catering, or drive-through. 2900 Montgomery, just off I-30. Remember, the best barbecue in Fort Worth is at Railhead Smokehouse.
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best-tasting, sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPIdrinks.com. Live happy, be happy, drink happy. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Welcome back in on State of the Frogs now with the head coach Jamie Dixon tonight. Kansas State, obviously, in Manhattan. This is a good basketball team. Jerome Tang's done a terrific job there in his first year.
Well, great recruiting.
Yes.
I mean, you pick up the SEC Player of the Year in August, July. It's, hey, it was gutsy. He got it done. And Kids playing great, and no surprise to that. I mean, he's a force, and we all know that. But picking up the JC kid, and it's and good pieces, good fits, and obviously they had the guard back, Noel, who's is put some players around him, put some guys and put in the basket, and he's electric. So we did a good job on the first game. We can't count on that. We got to know that we've got to do the job, team defense, and we've got to keep him out of the lane and know he can make other guys better. Yeah. And we can't let him do that as much as his scoring is. Making other guys better is what Noel does best. And
the one thing that you did as well is you took advantage of transition against Kansas State, didn't you?
Yeah, we got stops, and then some of it was turnovers, and some of it was just misses and contested shots. And like we said, our defense can lead the offense, and that's what we spent all summer really emphasizing and working on. And we saw the rewards, but this is a challenge. This team that's lost 2 in a row, and we know that they are ready to go. We know have a great crowd. It'll be packed there, as we know, and we've got to be ready.
I want to go back to Keontae Johnson, the transfer from Florida. This is a guy, he's skilled, but he's also kind of a brute force too. He's thicker and stronger than him.
He's old. He's old, and he's a big-time recruit coming out of high school, and he's played a lot of basketball. And when you say skill, I say since he hadn't played, Florida wouldn't allow him to play. I think he probably was just in the gym, shooting and ball handling, and as I remember, he seems way more skilled, along with that body, and certainly he's gotten older and filled out too at the same time. But he's inside out. He can hurt you in both ways, and he can pass too.
Yeah, it's a group too that gets balanced scoring. They'll go fairly deep in this lineup. They run guys at you, won't they?
They got their guy back now. I struggled his name, Negesson, and he's another force. He's another face-up guy playing on the perimeter, but can guard big, and they've got a good rotation. They've stayed relatively healthy. He missed some games. But everybody else has been out there the entire time. They're old. They brought in old guys, and it's just a different world. You can bring in old guys and become a veteran team. Starting from they had 2 real good players coming back, and then they just built up with seniors and 5th-year guys and 6th-year guys.
Speaking of the same, then you turn around and you play Baylor on Saturday. They got the one really good freshman, obviously, but this is another group that seems to stay old.
Yeah, they're old, and adding a couple great freshmen, but just old, experienced guards. And Flagler's been terrific, and they've got experience. And they pick up the kid from BYU that gives them more depth and again size and old, and that's how you got to do it nowadays. And it's not like you develop them in your place and keep them there for 4 years and they're ready for year 4 and 5. It's just you get them from somewhere else, and that's the way it's becoming. Yeah, it does not get easy in this league. You got the back-to-backs, K-State, and then obviously Baylor on Saturday. What's the key? Obviously, you're going to emphasize defensive and rebounding, but you start thinking about, okay, we're getting into February now. You want to be peaking at the right time here, right? Well, I mean, obviously we got a unique situation with the 2 guys being out, and so we've got to see where that goes and how that plays out. But, we were number 1 in the conference defense prior to West Virginia. Went down to 2nd. After Oklahoma State, we're down to 3rd. So it means we're not getting it done. We got to know where, even with the win against West Virginia, I knew we weren't good enough defensively where we were. We were really defending well. And so, depth had something to do with that. There's no question about it. But they don't give you points for that. No excuses. We got to find a way. We got to play more guys, which I thought we did a good job of that. West Virginia. I didn't think we balanced our minutes as well against Oklahoma State. But, we dug a hole for ourselves, and I think it changed our rotation a little bit more than I would have liked. Yeah, by the way, we should mention this. I fell to earlier. I thought Suleiman Doumbia continues to improve for you. Well, he was out for a while, too, with an injury, and so, we slowly getting him back in there. Plus, we were playing tough games, and we had guys playing well at the same time. But we need him now, Eddie out, and so he has done some good things. I thought he was really good against Oklahoma State. Probably could have played a little more, and it was the right matchup for him. He did the best job on our post on the defense, and our team defense was so good in the post in the West Virginia game but for some reason it just left us, and we didn't do the things that we'd practiced, things that we had done for a week straight. We didn't do in the game, and that just shows that we're not where we need to be.
All right, Kansas State tonight. Good luck with that one.
All right, thank you.
Here goes Jamie
Thank you,
Dixon,
Brian.
ready to hit the road. The Frogs and Kansas State tonight, then Baylor on Saturday at 3 here at Schollmeyer Arena. We'll have highlights of that one when we come back next week for another edition of State of the Frogs. For the head coach Jamie Dixon, I'm Brian Estridge. Thanks for joining us here, and we'll see you next week for another edition of State of the Frogs.
Roxo Media House.